Hey, everybody, this is Macky with the Hidden Threads podcast. And we start out with Victoria on the screen.
Oh, good morning.
We talked about it last week, but on Mondays, sometimes we're kind of dead, but we're not today.
We've drank a Celsius and a Red Bull. We're going.
Yep. Celsius, Red Bull. Victoria, she don't want the weakness of a Celsius. She goes straight for the action.
I need the hard stuff.
Straight for the hard stuff. Right. Fortunately, Victoria, this is about the hardest stuff we drink these days.
Yes, it is.
We are not non-drinkers.
Go us.
Yeah, go us. How long have you been sober, Victoria? Say it.
A year and 3 or 4 months, something like that.
I think I'm going on 8 years, if I do the math.
Crazy.
No, longer than that. Almost 10 years. So,
Dang, you got to celebrate when you reach 10.
10 big fat ones.
That's a milestone.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even think about it anymore, so that's good.
I get that. I totally get that. You should still celebrate, though.
Yeah, the first year's the hardest, right?
Mm.
And then after that, you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
I just drink caffeine and kill my body in other ways.
Yeah, for real.
The good part about caffeine, you don't kill others.
Yes.
So
that is a benefit of that.
My wife has not threatened to leave me over caffeine. So
that shows you enough right there, right?
As opposed to alcohol. Anyways, all right. So today we get a good one starting out. All right.
Yes.
My first case is a private investigator.
Yeah.
What do you think, Victoria? You read a little bit about it.
I did, and it's a divorce case.
Divorce case right out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
There's some screw ups in there. It's very fun though.
Yeah,
right?
That was like your real first-hand learning experience.
First time, yeah. And I'll kind of talk about how I got into this. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in Afghanistan working for the State Department. I was a training manager training Afghan security forces. All right. And I kind of saw the writing on the wall. They were starting to withdraw from Afghanistan. The U.S. we were losing. Our contract went from about 500 people down to about 200 in a year.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I was kind of like, this is probably not going to work out. And so I started looking. I was tired of traveling back and forth, missing my kids and my wife and those things. So
yeah,
for a year while I was working there, I traveled back and forth. I did 90 days there, 30 days back here.
Gotcha. Back
and forth. And so I started exploring the PI business, got into it. I got my license while I was in Afghanistan.
Wow.
I came back on leave, did the application and all that.
Yeah.
Studied for the test while I was there, came back on leave and passed the test.
What?
And then I was licensed, but I had to do another 90-day stint there before I quit. So
gotcha.
And I started reaching out to some law firms saying, hey, I'm going to be starting. I already got my LLC and everything. Mm-hmm. Saying, hey, I'm starting up. And I started in BNI the day I got back. Like I was back here on a Saturday, I think. And then that Tuesday I had BNI.
Nice.
That's how quick I started networking right away. And I got a case pretty quick within a week.
Yeah.
Because I've done a lot of pregame, I call it.
Did it come from BNI, that first one?
It did.
Nice.
It did. Right out of BNI, right out the gate. And I think I charged a whopping $1,500 or something. I had no idea how to price. I was learning this, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I just needed a case under my belt.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even have a camera, like a good one. I had my phone. So I got the case and I went and bought a camera, a decent one. But anyways, this young man, he was a referral from a law firm. And he was an executive at a large manufacturing plant in near Huntsville.
Okay.
All right. And he suspected his wife was cheating on him. I gave him my pitch and he said, yeah, let's do it. I said, oh, okay. I didn't even have a way to take a payment.
Yeah.
So he wrote me a check.
That's so crazy.
So I got to watching this lady first day. All right. So she was a home health nurse and they had a facility where the home health nurses worked out of. They'd go get their supplies. They had an office there. They could do their administration and those things. He suspected she was having an affair with a guy there at where she worked.
Gotcha.
Right? And I pulled into the parking lot just to kind of get an idea of what I was looking at. Mm-hmm. And I pulled in, I turned you pulled around back where they parked and I looked left and there they were walking right towards me, both of them holding hands.
Oh my
I was like, well, so I had to kind of play it off like I was just parking.
Yeah.
But I learned a lesson there. Always have your camera up and recording like on your dash. So I would have had them right away.
Right.
They were holding hands and being all lovey-dovey. But I was like, daggum, I missed the opportunity there.
Yeah.
But anyways, I said, well, this is, there's something there to this. It's not an assumption and we can't turn to fact, right? So I went and started watching these folks. She would, I'm trying not to say so much.
You're good.
I just said it.
You're good.
They would do their work. They would travel around the town and take care of it was the older people they were taking care of.
Mm.
And then they would come back and meet up in the parking lot for lunch. And then they would do that meet up after work as well. All right. So it was around Christmas time or getting close. It was maybe Thanksgiving, but they would meet up after work and they would get in his car and go shopping at the mall. They would even get a hotel room sometimes. And then she would go home at about 7, 8 o'clock and be like, yeah, I just worked late.
Oh, dirty.
So our guy, my client, he had pretty good amount of money. All right. Significant amount of assets. He had inherited some money and he made good money. And she'd already said, hey, I'm tired of you. You're boring. I want a divorce. All right. And he wanted to protect that. All right. And they had little kids and stuff like that. And anyways, she would come in and she was mean. Like she would just raise Cain all night, like hollering at him how sorry he was and all this.
Oh, man.
And our guy worked, 10 hours a day, and then he would get the kids, take them. He was the one taking them to school, picking them up, all these things, getting them ready, in bed at night, feeding them and all that, while she's out saying she's working late. Right? But I caught her over 15 times with this guy. Got him at the mall, smooching and kissing and Belk, looking at rings. Big spender, Belk.
Belk ring.
Big spender.
They're more active than what we typically see, it seems like.
They were pretty active. We see them. So I'll go into one in the second part of this one we just caught. All right, recently, how active he was.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
This is one that I haven't talked about much, but it's kind of over now, and I want to get into that one a little bit in the second part of this to show the evolution of how much better I am.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I collected a lot of evidence on filming these people on video, walking around on my phone, following them in the mall, holding hands, smoochy, all that stuff, going in and out of the hotel rooms, all these things. And to report that, I had to get this all into, I didn't have a system like Crosstracks. It was all Word document. I put the videos in a share file so they could see it. Lawyer was fine with it as long as it was legible. It just took me
forever.
Instead of 15 minutes it takes now, it took me about 9 hours just to write the report.
Right. Yeah.
But I think I was charging $60 an hour then.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
I had no idea. But anyways, we went on forever. I got them in the parking lot and they were in the backseat of this guy's Suburban. It was at night and I was in an adjacent parking lot. I could see right through their windshield having sex.
Oh my God.
All right. Sometime during the escapade, they accidentally hit an overhead light or something, and I got a big old rump right there on
oh my God, that's hilarious.
All right. And we laugh now. I mean, this was almost 10 years ago.
Right.
We laugh now. And but the client, he was already over this woman. He's like, this is awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the lawyer was like, this is awesome. That's the kind of evidence we get. But this lady, I had to go testify in this one. During depositions, all right, there's people confused. I've confused it before. So the law is confusing on purpose so we can pay lawyers, I think. All right, extra money. Mediations where the lawyer says, hey, or the judge says, hey, y'all go try to work this out before it comes to court. And they typically go like this when it went to mediation, and they didn't work out a deal. All right. So went to depositions. That's where they do a lot of the testimony. Prior to going to court, you're under oath. There's a court reporter there. They pick an office and one of the lawyer's offices, and they do it. Gotcha. Lawyers question back and can question you there.
Gotcha.
Right? You're under oath. This lady actually lied under oath and said that she didn't do any of this. All right. And the lawyer didn't want to push it. Sometimes the lawyers will push it then and say, hey, you lied. We might want to make a deal here.
Yeah.
She wanted to get her in front of the judge. She hated this woman. The lawyer did. This woman was mean, nasty, all this stuff. All right. So this was actually one where we played videos in the courtroom. It was weird. You talk about nervous. This is my first thing.
Oh my God.
Now it was months later. I'd already had some experience, but we had to play these videos and I had to describe what was happening. And the woman's big rump was on the screen.
What did her face look like? Like, what is she doing while you're playing the video?
She's sitting there shaking her head for some. I didn't look at her really. I was talking about the video.
Got you. Yeah.
The big thing was, where did I take it from? They're the opposition trying to say I got it illegally. I was in a parking lot. They were in another public parking lot, and I was using off the shelf equipment, which we're going to get into another podcast about what you can and can't do, some myths and stuff like that. But there was no reasonable expectation of privacy.
Right.
I didn't break the hotel door down and come in. They were in the parking lot.
Right.
In the rain, by the way. It was raining outside.
Oh my God.
They just she told her husband that night that she had a flat tire and had to go get her tire fixed. But anyway, there was no flat tires on the truck. But
I'm just glad that he wasn't still emotionally attached to her.
He wasn't. He just wanted her.
Yeah.
He wanted to prove that this woman was a evil person.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. That's what we do. We fight evil.
Yes.
People call us evil.
I don't see how that even is a thing.
I've heard, this woman actually is one that went on Facebook and said I broke up her marriage. No, you did. You broke up your marriage.
He was the one in the rain.
You were the one
car.
in the backseat. You're the one. You're a 30-something-year-old woman with children, and you're in the backseat acting like an 18-year-old. So
not picking your kids up and doing this instead.
Lying to your husband. All these things. The husband he tried for a year to make this work. He said, "Hey, let's go to counseling, all this," and she just didn't want to be married anymore. My thing is, if you don't want to be married anymore, let's just not be married anymore. Why go through all this trouble?
That's like, why not just be blatantly honest and save yourself all the crap that's going to come with this?
Right.
Yeah.
But she got a little fine for lying under oath and all this stuff. I don't think it was much. They kind of slapped him on the wrist, But anyway, he got full custody of the kids.
Nice.
Got to keep his home without giving her any equity.
Nice.
She just got to go be with this guy, I guess, and she got her kids. Got to see him once a month or whatever. That's pretty rough. It's typically the opposite. Women, the birth mother gets more rights.
Especially in Alabama. No, that's a thing.
In the South, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Right. Not just Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, you see it. But so that was my first experience. First case ever right out the gate. A woman doing the sex acts in the back of a car.
Was it so nerve-wracking? I know it was your first time in the courtroom,
So I'd been in the courtroom federally before.
Gotcha.
But so it wasn't nervous.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't just wake up one day and decide to be an investigator. I've got some experience.
Right. Was the question surprising, or were you prepared all the way for it?
No, I was surprised at how aggressive the opposing party was. I'm like, we got this woman dead to rights, cheating on her husband, and she lied about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were good lawyers. They were attacking the process, right? Which is, they knew their client was caught. They were attacking how I gathered the evidence.
That's their only option.
Yeah, I had to bring the camera and show them that it was one that you could buy I bought it from Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're trying to say, you use specialized gear that's not off the shelf, which is in the law. It can't be specialized gear like you would military grade that was only available to military.
Gotcha.
They were trying to say that I took this from the State Department and was using it.
Oh, okay.
So we were on Amazon in the courtroom. Yeah, you can buy it. That's where my receipt kind of thing. I had my phone up. Hey, Judge, here's my receipt. He goes, oh, whatever. Okay, next, next question.
Yeah.
But and the judge is kind of like, I'll let you, opposition, say your thing, but this isn't looking good for y'all. Mm-hmm. He said that in court,
Gotcha.
But
so then, like you said, I think I've heard you say this before. If you lie under oath in a civil suit, it is not as harsh as
no.
Criminal.
Usually they'll give you a chance to retract or make a deal.
Gotcha.
Or if you want to hold it a lie, they'll fine you. You can even go to jail for it for a little, it's like a $500 bond.
Gotcha.
You can bond out immediately. You go there, they book you and you leave kind of thing.
Gotcha.
I've not seen it happen, but one time where somebody went to jail for it. And it was, they lied under oath, but then they got belligerent with the judge, and the judge was just pissed off.
Yeah. Like contempt or something.
Get this dude out of here.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've seen that happen. And I was like, we might get that one in a podcast one day.
So where were your goofs in that? They not recording when you first pulled up?
Yep. I did not have a camera going. So now if I'm out doing surveillance, I have my camera on my dash and it's always going. All right. Mm-hmm. I tell investigators, hey, every 10 minutes, stop it and start it. So you're not having to search through all that video.
That does make sense. Yeah.
You can keep it going, but you're going to be searching through video for hours.
Yeah.
I always keep a camera going and always assume that you're going to catch. I always assume that they're watching for me, and I always assume that I'm going to catch something. All right. Gotcha. You always got to be ready to catch it.
Yeah.
You may be doing surveillance for 10 hours and you may get a 10-second clip that breaks the case wide open. Mm-hmm. So you got to be ready at all times. And I was not. I was just kind of scouting the ground out.
Yeah.
And
first time pulling up,
there they are, holding hands. And it was pretty interesting. Another thing that happened in that one too was I put a vehicle tracker on her car in the parking lot of the place. Right? And I got confronted by somebody, hey, what are you doing to that car? Like I peed my pants a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I put it on and stood up and there's a woman standing there. Hey, what are you doing? And I was like, I said, I dropped my phone and I was just picking it up. She's like, okay. She's a little suspicious of what I was doing. I don't know if she worked for them or was just a visitor to the place or what, but I've learned to scout out the area before I go slide under a car. Mm-hmm. We had an investigator one time. She was a good one too. Mm-hmm. She put a tracker on a car while the guy was sitting in it. And she got up from under the car and he was laid back in the seat, like taking a nap at lunchtime.
Oh my God.
He didn't look up and she said, I peed a little bit.
Oh, so, I would have.
So I train investigators. Hey, look at the car. Yeah. Make sure nobody's sitting in it. You got to make there's a point where you got to go for it and put it on.
Right.
But yeah, that scared me a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I've done surveillance in areas where if you get caught, they cut your head off. All right.
So horrifying. Yeah.
In the Marines, in the State Department and all those things, if we get busted, then we were done.
Yeah.
We were prisoner of war. Right. Now, in the United States, the big difference is there's people everywhere. All right. And over in Afghanistan and Iraq, there were people everywhere, but it was different blending in there. I did not look Middle Eastern there.
You stuck out.
Yeah. I did not look Middle Eastern there. We had deals with people. We were using their buildings and stuff. Mm-hmm. Basically, we paid them money. Hey, don't tell on us.
Yeah.
Here in the United States, though, you are people are always around. I fit in here. I'm a white guy, redneck kind of guy.
Country.
Yeah. And the challenge is there's more people are everywhere in here, especially a parking lot or whatever. Mm-hmm. One thing I have found that Americans are mostly oblivious to what's going on around them.
So distracted.
They're distracted by their phone. Mm-hmm. They don't pay attention to what's going on. Where overseas, more people were more on edge. Cars were blowing up, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That does make sense.
It was a different setup there. We were paying people to let us use their facilities to do surveillance from. So we could go in and out at will. Mm-hmm. Here we can't go. I can't really go in and out of business, private property.
Unless you have like a connection with dude that owns a trailer or whatever.
Yeah. We have before, but typically you're just sitting in your car.
Right.
And people come up and just start talking to you. Mm-hmm. Not about what you're doing. Mm-hmm. They're just saying, hey, how's your day?
Everyone's friendly here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard about Jesus,
right.
Yes, I have. I know him well. But they'll just start talking to you here. This is the South. It's a little different up north.
Yeah.
But people will just start randomly talking to you, and you got to be kind and kind of move on when you get out of the conversation. If you got work to do,
right?
Maybe following somebody or something may be happening. So
right.
That's the big difference. But so we will take a break here and come back and talk about kind of how this has evolved over the years.
Yeah.
And from me stumbling around with I only had a car, no office, no nothing. And, to what it is now. So
you learned two great things from that first experience.
Yeah. And, we'll get back to it in just a second.
Sweet.
Hey, I get a lot of calls from people that say, hey, I looked on Been Verified, Scope Now, Truth Finder, White Pages, all these different sites saying, hey, I found some information on a person, but when I followed up on it, it wasn't accurate. That's because those cheap and free services give you old information. That's the bottom line. We have a service where we give you the same information, but it's real time. You get bankruptcies, divorces, criminal record, if they're a sexual predator, where they live now, current phone numbers, email addresses, usernames, all these things you get in real time. We get this information by using a TLO database that's only available to private investigators, law enforcement, and federal agencies. So if you want real data now and talk to a real investigator now to get information that you need to move forward with your life, please give us a call, 866-910-7499, or you can click the link and fill out your information. That's 866-910-7499, or click the link and fill out your information. We want to help you with real-time data to help you move forward with your life.
Everybody, we're back. Victoria just had a sneezing fit.
Oh, my goodness. I'm okay.
You okay now?
I'm here.
You're good?
Yeah.
All right. Good. I don't know what she's allergic to.
I don't know. Nicotine, probably.
Nicotine.
I think the nicotine makes me sneeze.
All right. So, hey, following on the first part, we're going to keep following the career path here a little bit.
Yes.
Kind of how I was treated by the other PIs when I first started here.
Yeah, this is interesting stuff. Tell me.
Right. So I came in. I did not ask permission from any longtime PI people to be a PI.
Yeah.
I didn't go out to license number 1 in Alabama and say, hey, man, can I be a PI in your state? Will you give me permission?
Yeah.
It's not a requirement, but apparently you're supposed to.
Oh.
An unstated rule.
Gotcha.
So I signed up for the Alabama Private Investigator Association, and immediately the president of the board said, hey, I've seen some of your marketing. Will you come speak at our first one? I said, sure. All right.
Ooh.
Okay. He goes, yeah, you got a more robust background than some of the other ones that we got here.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there and I gave a speech about marketing, sales, and those kind of things. And I know a little bit about that, don't I, Victoria?
You know a lot about that. Sales king.
Sales king. I don't know about that. January is not looking like a sales king.
No, it's not.
This weekend was pretty good. It's getting better. January is always slow.
You know all the tactics behind it and everything.
Yeah,
like
everybody's recovering from Christmas. There is some timing involved there too. But I went there and gave a little talk about marketing and sales and all that. And some of the long-term PI people they did a question and answer, and they were trying to call me out. Said, one of them actually said, you don't have enough experience to be a PI in this state.
I feel like you have the most experience.
He said,
but okay.
His words were, I'm PI, we get a number, right? Mine's 712.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the 712 12th issued PI license in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm PI license number 8. And I don't think you have the experience. Now, this guy, let's describe him. Okay?
Yeah.
He's about 5'5", about 320.
Wow.
Big old boy.
Yeah.
All right. And he had on a Hawaiian shirt, the flowery shirt, like you'd wear if you're on vacation in Hawaii.
To me, he would stick out like a sore thumb anywhere, but yeah. Okay.
He had it unbuttoned down to about, let me see, to get the camera on. He had it about the 3rd button. A lot of hair coming out. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And he had a big gold chain, like a herringbone chain, like you'd see in 1983.
Yeah.
And he had it wasn't a beard. It's just like he's unshaved, but he had his hair blow dried back.
Okay.
And like gelled styled back. Right. Something you would see out of a 1980s PI movie.
Right.
Like he was the bad PI.
Right.
Bunch of gold rings on his fingers and stuff. And I said in front of everybody, there's about 300 people there.
Mm.
And I said, I'm not sure what you're talking about. You should probably be more worried about your heart condition.
Seriously.
Than worried about me.
I agree.
He was ready to fight. Everybody started laughing at him.
Good.
But,
screw that guy.
I was real nice about it. I just said, hey, man, instead of worrying about me, you should probably be worried about your heart condition and your health. Because he could barely breathe.
Right. How is he
still around.
Even doing surveillance at that point?
He's still around. I looked up his background. I just was curious. He's never had a police or military background. He just started being a PI. Up until, I don't know the exact year, but it's early 2000s, there was no requirement for a PI license in Alabama.
Yeah.
And he came in under that. He just declared he was a PI one day. All right.
Isn't it the people that normally talk a bunch of crap that like have all the issues themselves going on? You know what I'm saying? Like,
there was another one. He was a board member of the association. He told me that he might allow me to get some cases. All right. I'd still know him as well.
He might allow you to get some cases.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was PI licensed like number 12. He said, I've been around a while. I may have allowed some of these lawyers to give you some cases. But anyway. Yeah, that's kind of how I was treated. So
that is the nasty way to be treated entering into the whole thing.
So you talk about this, we hear you got the board and then there's the association. I'm not big in the association. I pay them $100 a year so I can say I'm a part of the association. I don't participate. I tried to. I just can't get past the arrogance and the badge protection that goes on there. And I just don't think it's very professional.
For someone to attack you with the background that you have and they have zero background at all and any of it is just insane.
Now, some of them have been a PI for a while, but some guy comes off the street and threatens them and they're just going to start bashing you. I've been bashed online by them before, all those things. And, I just don't have time for it. We're busy, aren't we, Victoria?
For real, though.
I don't have time to pay attention to them. Now, I've got a few that I'm great friends with, and we refer stuff to each other. I don't have time for it. I'll send it over to this guy or that guy.
That's the relationship you would want and expect from these people.
I'm more of a symbiotic relationship than a competitive relationship.
Yeah.
If you want to jump on board and get business, we'll do it together.
Right.
But if you're going to attack me and act like almost said an ugly word, Victoria.
Yeah.
A butthole, then I'm not going to give you the time of day. I don't have time. I don't have time to think about it. So.
Right. And then that just like ruins any type of relationship. He could have learned from you, maybe potentially. But
I could have learned from them.
Right. He just started it out so nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
But yeah, so fast forward to when we just recently finished up. This one's fresh off the presses.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got a team of investigators now. And two of my investigators found this guy. We were hired to what he was, instead of going home and taking care of his kids, he was going out getting drunk every night at the certain bars. Okay. And I had two investigators on this one, and they teamed up and caught him. I think it's about 9 hours of just pure drinking in the bar. And one time, smooching and hugging with a girl at the bar. And his wife got what she's already done with the relationship.
Yeah.
She's the breadwinner. All right. And she wants him to go away. She called this go away footage.
That's so funny. Go her. More power to her.
Go away footage. But yeah, we got a bunch of hours of him just hanging out. We got the receipts from the bartender. He's supposed to be going to Alcoholics Anonymous. They buddied up with the bartender and got some receipts.
And that's a rare one where he's not the breadwinner. Like his wife is supporting him.
Yeah, especially in the South, it's the men are typically make more money down here for whatever. It's a choice typically.
Right.
The wife wants to stay home with the kids, raise children.
Yeah.
And they put their career on pause. But this one, she makes the money.
And he still ran behind her back. That is so crazy.
We didn't catch him like where you could say that he's having an affair, but she was more for the drinking. She didn't want him to be around the kids.
Yeah.
And it was good. But how much time we got, Victoria?
You tell me.
I ran it for a while on the Alabama Private Investigator Association.
I would get heated about that too.
I'm going to get hate mail from the PI board, the PI Association. But
well, they should change the way that they
approach people. Yep, it should be symbiotic as opposed to
yes. And territory is maybe a thing for them. Like maybe they have this territory covered, but like you should still talk about that. I don't know.
It's capitalism. It's an open market.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? They can't say this is my area. You can't advertise here.
Yeah.
They have to. I can go advertise where I want. And say, as long as I'm licensed in that area.
So their just ego is so crazy high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them I like, and we get along great, and there's plenty of business to go around. So
for real.
But the big thing there was, and I just wanted to kind of get the evolution of how I came about where I am now.
You've grown so much.
I don't know about that.
For sure. Compared to that first round of surveillance.
We got new problems now. So I've always been the kind of guy that don't keep doing the same mistakes over. Let's create new ones.
Yeah, for real. Like solve those and let new ones come.
Let's create new problems. Let's don't do the same ones over and over. But yeah, I went from just me in a car doing cases myself. Now we do. I think we've got 7 total investigators. 1 full timer.
So nice.
He's all right.
He's okay. I'm just playing. We love Juice.
He's good. We got some great contractors that work for us. And we do digital now. We definitely certifications we have. I've got a salesperson now.
Yeah.
Her name's Victoria Clark.
What's good?
Everybody say hi to Victoria. Let's clap for Victoria.
Oh, thank you so
much. And it's turned into a company as opposed to just a one-man show.
Yes.
So, and we still have jealousy though out there.
Yeah.
I've had people come after me on reviews. They investigators set up fake accounts and put up fake reviews, and I catch them doing it.
That's how you know you're doing good, is when you have people trying to bring you down.
The haters, they call it.
For real, though. That's how you know you're up there.
I've even complained to the board, the legal, not the association, but the lawmaking board, and they don't do nothing about it. Had a previous investigator who worked for me, got fired. He kept one of my laptops for a long time and was taking my leads. You know how we get leads in for email and different things, and was calling them. I got him on recording about 6 times.
Stealing business.
I found out from a guy that he said, "Hey, this guy's still in your business." He was another PI in Texas that called me to do some work here. And he goes, "Who's this other guy?" And I said, "I don't know." And he goes, "Well, here's a recording." And I said, "Hey, can you do that several times for me?" He goes, "Oh yeah." And he got me several recordings. I actually sued the guy.
Nice.
But the board didn't do anything about that either. So
that's just incorrect. That is wrong.
Yeah, it is. I don't like it. But the board does do great things, but there are some things where we're lacking, I believe.
Yeah.
They like to kick the can and say it's a civil suit, which it is, but they do have the power to take away people's they can fine them, take away their licensing for a little while, suspend them, those kind of things. The issue with suspending license, unless there's a felony involved, you can't take away somebody's way to make money.
Yeah, I get that.
But you can find them. That's in there. We've read it before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's jealousy goes on. And we're just getting better every year. This is going to be our best year, probably.
Yeah.
It's January 20 something. So
2025.
I may have a heart attack tomorrow.
No.
Victoria, take over.
Me and Juice, maybe. I don't know. Not me by myself.
Victoria, take over. But yeah, that's all we got today. Did you like those topics today, Victoria?
Yes, this was interesting.
Just chatting it up.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It shows where you come from and how you got to where you are.
Yeah. So we're going to get out of here, and we'll be back again with another episode of the Hidden Threads podcast.
Peace.
Later.